Here. Thanks for showing up, everybody. All these smiling faces. Well, maybe not everybody, but some more than others. Okay, we'll start here with, well, Colin's not here to give us a treasurer's report, but Dan is here to give us the minutes from the last meetings. So we'll start there.
I'll be really brief on that because when I looked at my computer, it was blank on that. But we were over there, and Joe could fill in who we had last month. That went really well. Showed a lot of equipment, antennas.
So last month we had NG9B. That one. Yeah, I'm wired. Oh yeah. Was NG9B Mike out of Wisconsin, and he was able to share some of his POTA HF equipment with us. More specifically, his, I'd say, easily deployed antennas, but some of those were pretty massive, but he still made quick work out of them. All right then. So, as hopefully we all remember, we are coming up to Field Day 2023. That'll be the 24th and 25th of June. I already have a sign-up sheet. Please feel free to fill it out. It's on the second table here, middle row, if you're already interested. If not, still fill it out, please. We need the operators. We do also have some bases to cover while we're at it. We need a teardown crew, a setup crew. We're pretty covered on radios and antennas, so thank you to Colin and Ralph for that. Let's see here, I'm going to need someone for batteries as well. So if there's something that you're willing to do, want to do, able to do, please feel free to let us know. Let's see here. Beyond that, we will be out at the American Red Cross here in Dubuque this year. So hopefully we can get some community turnout as well. I know we're not in a park like we have been in the past. Unfortunately, they were not available this year, except for Eagle Point, and we didn't see a reason to make y'all pay $1 to come play with your radios. With that, I'd also throw out the reminder that it doesn't matter what level license you have. You can operate any of the bands that we'll be on because it will be W0DBQ as the control station. So that is holding an advanced license. So anything that we have to play with, we can. I think it's a great way for younger folks, technician level, general class level, to kind of get more into the HF frequencies and get more used to them as well and just get exposure to them. Dan, I'm sure I'm missing something. Either Dan. Yeah, go ahead. I do.
Sorry about that. And just kind of go down through the whole list and find out who in here will supply any of those needs.
All right, I am good with that. So, we have the two antennas covered by Ralph and Colin, thankfully. Yes, sir, Mr. Ed.
I just wanted to make a correction. The club call sign is not extra. It's whoever operates it. It's for the club. It's the control operator that holds the license. So if you have a station there and the control operator is watching over somebody, they don't have to have a license because he's the license.
Okay.
So if it's a general, then he can observe. Otherwise, extra class can observe everybody.
Perfect, thank you. All right, so we'll need someone to work on grabbing free-ish batteries for us. Is there anyone that's able to or willing to?
Does anybody know who did the batteries last year? Haxmeyer? That's what I thought. We'll give him a jingle.
Okay.
Find out.
Okay. So. All right. Assuming that he also took care of the battery cables and ports. Anybody know the answer to that question? Connectors for to run the batteries to the radios. I'm sorry.
Go ahead, Lauren, say it one more time.
I said I got all the cables and stuff to hook up the batteries to the radios.
All right.
Well, thank you, Lauren. We appreciate that. Joe Fayen was able to score us a couple computers, and he's going to go ahead and get the software uploaded to that, or to those, and get those all configured and set up for us. And he also had them donated to him, so he's just repaying that and donating them to the club. So the club will have those at their disposal if needed, whenever needed. Right? Coax. We're pretty sure Colin's going to take care of that. I have to reach out to him and confirm. Is there anyone that would be able to in the need or in the instance where he's not able to?
I'll check on the coax with Colin.
Thank you, Dan. Thank you, Dave. Much appreciated.
Joe, as far as coax goes,
One second.
last year, we set up the antenna and then ran the coax to the radio.
Yep.
That didn't work. Start at the radio and then go to the antenna. Start at the radio, then go to the antenna, because we were about 3 feet short.
Noted and good to know. Much appreciated, Pat. Pardon me while I take some notes here.
Are you trying to say that coax wouldn't stretch?
Well, make sure you bring it this time, please, Pat. Pat's going to volunteer to bring the coax stretcher in case we need it. Let's see your setup crew. I know I helped. I know Colin helped. I know Ralph helped last year. Dave. All right, Dave's willing to help us with that one. Who else were we?
We have a question. What time is set up?
So the event starts at just shy of 5 p.m. local. So we'll probably want to start setup right around 1 or 2 o'clock in the afternoon. If I remember right, that's about when we started last year. Of the 24th. Unless I did my math wrong, because it starts at, I think I did do my math wrong.
It's Zulu time.
Yeah. Yep. So, hang on, I have their website right here.
Seems to me last year it was 1 o'clock. Yeah.
That seems right, and that's why I was on the ARL website as well as Google trying to do the conversions, and my brain just wasn't working. So ignore the times that are on that sheet; they're wrong. So, yeah, that sheet. We can still use it. I'll just correct the times.
Uh,
1 second, please, Ed. Go ahead.
well, this is, I think 2 years ago, I tried to get on the radio and there was a pile up. So I would like to volunteer to be there, but I would like somebody over my shoulder because, you know, I screwed up big time.
No worries with
last
that
time.
one. No
All
worries
right.
with that one.
Yes, I'm a big time screw up, okay? And I apologize to say this, I'm a general, and yet I have not been on general frequencies yet.
That's totally okay. That's totally okay.
We'll work that out for you.
So as it turns out, Ed offered to do a tutorial for anyone that would like to operate and maybe hasn't or is a little leery like Larry is.
I can be there early so that we can go through this at field day. But we usually start operating at 1, so setup usually starts around 10.
Okay.
That's pretty much what we've done in the past. So say within an hour ahead of actual starting, we'll have a little instruction on how to do it.
All right, so as a point of clarity, we start at 1. Orientation / tutorial from Ed will start at around noon then. Set up around 10 a.m. And this is out at the American Red Cross. Awesome.
Joe, it was, Fred mentioned going out there for, have a look around, make plans, what you want to do before we get there. Have you thought about that? You going with him? You want somebody to go with him to do that? Or is it necessary?
I don't know that's 100% necessary. Fred was going to be our safety officer this year, and unfortunately has to go take care of a ill family member that weekend and will not be able to join us. So if there's somebody that would like to step up as safety officer, anybody. Kelly, do I need to volunteer you? Oh, that's right, you're probably busy. Robert, you busy? Come on, people. Who else can I bug? Gary. No, I can't bug you. You're too busy anyway. Pat? No? Oh, no. So for what we mean by safety officers, just to make sure that, you know, if there's an antenna leg that's got a rope tied to it, there's some sort of plastic flag attached to that rope as well. Make sure that there's no trip hazards. Just kind of keep an eye out. Make sure that nobody, you know, if someone's looking like they're about to pass out because they're standing there and they're getting overheated, get them to a cool area. Just very simple stuff like that. Not looking for like armed security or anything.
No, it's pretty basic, actually, you know. Nobody?
All right, so if nobody else does that, we'll find someone.
Yes, I think we get 50 points, I think.
I believe so.
Yeah, you send in a form with it that says you're the safety officer, who you are, and they give you another 50 points.
So that's an easy 50 points for the club if someone's willing to step up on that one. Again, if not, I'm sure we can find somebody. If you don't have an idea if you're going to be in town yet, feel free to shoot either the club email address, a email, or myself. It's joseph.s.manos@gmail.com, and I can go ahead and work with you that way as well.
You know, it's really not a hard thing to do. You go out, the first thing you do is check the guy wires and this sort of thing and put a couple flags on them if it's needed. You walk around, look at extension cords. You know, it's just a general safety thing. So if you're not really been involved in these things very much, but you're going to be there, there's nothing you can do that's less stressful. So it's an opportunity for somebody who's not really participated. You just walk around and look at stuff. How hard can it get? Okay, enough said.
Appreciate it, Dan. So we've got Dave for setup. Anyone else able to volunteer for setup at about 10 o'clock in the morning at the Red Cross on the 24th? Dan Shireman, awesome. Anybody else?
I hope to be there, but I don't want to commit myself.
Okay, we'll put Larry down as a question mark.
I'm going to try and drag Dan along too.
No, you're not. You just think you are. I'll, of course, be there as well. Wait, I heard someone say that you could help tear down. Who was that? Awesome. And I apologize. I am absolutely atrocious with names. Thank you. I have a 1-year-old and a 4-year-old, so coming to the Saturday breakfast is not always an option for me. But while we're at it, Dan, what time is that at the Sunshine Room?
6:30.
6:30 at the Sunshine Room, Saturday morning, if anyone wants to join
Oh,
the
no,
club.
no, I'm
for-
sorry. No, that's
didn't
8
think so.
o'clock.
8 o'clock, okay. 8 o'clock at the Sunshine Room downtown, if anyone wants to join for the breakfast bunch as well. So I've got a couple for teardown. I'm pretty sure I'll still be there.
Where's it at? Field
Which?
day.
Field day?
Red Cross.
American Red Cross, here in
Red
Dubuque.
Cross Center?
Yep.
You have tents? There's no pavilions there.
There's no pavilions. However, I was informed that there is a very large pop-up tent with screens that was donated to the club, and I'm pretty sure
Mike
Dave has
Hathaway.
that.
Mike Hathaway
Yep,
has it?
would have that. So we're gonna reach out to him, make sure he can bring that along as well, so that we have it available. And then, from my understanding, there's a couple guys that already know how to set it up. I'll have to go back to that email from Fred to verify who that was. So hopefully we can get it
One
set
of
up
them was
without
Dave.
hurting
Dave
ourselves.
Trost.
I thought Dave was one of them.
Yep.
Just didn't want to speak without having that in front of me.
I think Gary was the other one.
Gary, we don't expect you to actually do the work. Just be like, hey, put that pole there. That's really all we would need from you. Gary's washing his hands of it. Can't blame him. All right. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 for setup and 3 for breakdown. Like to have 4 for breakdown. I don't think it'll take that many, and we'll probably have a few extra people hanging around anyway. Yes, I did. Yep. I've got Robert, Mark, and myself so far for teardown.
It seems like several people do show up for setup, even if their name's not down there. Just probably nothing more than curiosity, then they get involved, you know?
Exactly. And if you, yes, Dave. Hey, 1 second while Dan gets to you with the mic, please.
Colin will furnish the 75-foot and 50-foot piece, and he will also furnish the G5V.
Awesome. So that is a confirmation that Colin's going to go ahead and take care of coax for us. Yep, and we're going to grab some coax from Richard because Richard is very generous with that so that we can fill in where needed.
Do you know if Ralph had any coax? There was a 100-foot piece laying around last year, wasn't there? Or not? Maybe not.
I thought there was, and that might be with Ralph.
We'll give him a jingle. Find
Yeah.
out.
We can verify that. Dan, you mind coming up to Ed real quick here?
Nope, don't mind at all.
Okay, we've got a text from Karen and Sheila. Want to know if they're able to use the bathrooms inside. And did they get a safety officer? They didn't hear anything.
Karen and Sheila, Dan is telling me that yes, the bathrooms inside will be available, and we currently do not have a safety officer. So if one of you two ladies would like to join for that, please feel free to let us know.
Yeah.
Alrighty. Got that covered, we've got that covered. Pens and papers, I've got a box with that Dan gave me that actually has a bit of that in it still, that I'll bring with me. Is there anyone that's got a fan or two, like a box fan or two that they'd be able to bring along and some extension cords just to kind of keep some air moving so that we don't all get too overheated? Dan does? So Dan's got some fans, Larry's got some extension cords, we should be good then.
You got a safety officer.
Oh,
All right.
cool. Was it Karen or Sheila? Or both? Both? Karen and Sheila, we thank you for
Yes,
that.
thank you
It's
very
much
much.
appreciated. I'll go ahead and shoot you ladies either a text or an email later this week. I would assume tomorrow will be when I have an opportunity to. I'll get in touch with y'all and we can go over some details on that. Thank you again, ladies. It's much appreciated.
Question, what do we need, 50 or 100 feet extension cords?
Dan, I was gonna say you're more familiar with the area.
I'm gonna bring a couple short ones along anyway. So.
Okay, well, I'll see what I can bring.
Lauren, did you say the plug for that is on the outside of the building? Didn't you tell me there was a plug on the outside of the building? Okay, yeah, 100 feet plus a few extras we're bringing along.
I'll go ahead and bring a power strip too, just a simple one so we've got more than one outlet at the end of that extension cord. Perfect, perfect. Thank you all. Thank you. And that's all I had on my list for what we needed. Dan Shireman's going to go ahead and take care of ordering pizzas for us. Beg pardon? As in,
Yes, somewhere.
I have it. I'll bring
you have the banner? Would you be able to provide that for us?
I'll bring the banner.
Lauren will bring the banner. Thank you, sir. Awesome. Are you gonna need us to bring some stakes or poles or anything for that, or do you have that with it? Okay, perfect. Dan, do we have a space that we'll be able to tie it up with?
We got the space.
Well,
But
like, do we have like a couple
hangers?
of trees or something?
I'm not so sure. Let me see here. Do we have a metal bracket? I don't think so. We'll have to configure something to make it work.
Okay. We can cross that bridge another hour or two later from now.
Okay, we need a couple of people to hold this sign.
Yep. Who's willing to hold a sign for 24 hours? Let's make that 36 just to be safe. No one? Didn't think so. Y'all are not that crazy. Good to know. I mean, if you have a beam antenna that you're willing to bring, the club does have a beam antenna. Is that something? Well, I don't know. Is that something we want to consider setting up?
Getting height on it would be the problem.
That's kind of what I was thinking too. Is getting a portable mast? Don't think would be too viable. All right, so I hear Ed volunteering to take care of this one. I will also throw out there that if you have a rig that you'd like to bring along with you, ARRL is also allowing everything from 50 megahertz into 2 meter and 1.25 meter as well. So if you want to run some of that, we could probably work that in as well. All right, did I cover everything for the gurus? Oh, Dan's got a hand up.
PR. Do you need a press release to the TH, or do you want to have it before? Let the public know, or do it after to get, good promotion after the fact.
Does anyone know anyone at the TH by chance?
You don't need to. Just
Oh, I know, just trying to smooth the way, and maybe we get a bit more than just like something on the 9th page, kind of tucked down in the corner
Yeah.
somewhere.
I could do a press release and have Dan look at it, make sure. And you want it before, or try to get them to come during and.
If they could come during, I think that would be amazing for not just the club, but the hobby itself. And with Field Day being to promote the hobby, Dan, if they're willing to come out and talk to some of us or, something like that, that would be amazing.
Do you want to be the contact, or Dan? Who would be the contact? So.
I was going to say, you want to flip a coin, Dan? No? Okay, that means me. Okay, that means me, because I'd lose that game like 90% of the time. All right, so Dan's going to go ahead and get us set up for a press release, and I'll be the contact on that one. Did I miss anything? I know there's a lot of gentlemen out here that have done this in the past, so please, your experience is welcome. Your thoughts are welcome. We want this to be something that, again, further promotes the hobby of amateur radio, because there's not a lot of that promotion going on right now, especially in the Dubuque area. And we want it to be fun.
I'll say this. I know you love me for this. Every year we have the same problem. Can anybody guess what that is?
Operators.
No. The operators who are operating cannot operate properly because there's so much yakket going on around them. But every year it's the same thing. Now, it was easier to control up at the park because they had only one door to go through, and I was putting a run on them. So up at Red Cross, it's an open area. But I'll be honest with you, I'm going to be watching. If there's big conversations going around these operators, I'm going to ask you to move away, to let them go. I mean, we beg for operators. They're going to show up, and then they can't hear anything because there's so much noise around them. Yeah, right, okay. something
That's
like
what
that,
I was
sure.
just gonna say. The big tent is for talking.
Okay, so there's gonna be 2 tents?
No, the one big one.
We'll have the one big one, and that'll be the social one. I think a good idea then would be to track down a pop-up that we could set the radios up underneath. Yep, something like that. Does anyone have one offhand? I know, Kelly, you've got at least one. Okay, the one that I have unfortunately fell apart on me. So if nothing else, if nothing else, I can get in touch with you that Friday or something, just swing by and grab it. So. No. Nope, y'all, we won't have tables and chairs. You get to operate the radios on your laps. Watch out for high voltage. No, just joking. If someone has a table, just a simple folding table and some folding chairs, that would be very helpful if you could help us out with that as well. For those that want to come and be social, I would ask that you please bring your own chair. That way we don't have to worry about how to coordinate having enough there for everybody and all that fun stuff. Does anyone have a folding table though that they'd be willing to let us use that day?
I have one, but I'm not so sure how I'm gonna get it down. It's a long one. It's probably, no, this isn't, it's what it'll be like.
No, we'd almost need something about minimum this size. Okay. Are you talking the one that we were using over season, or are you talking about Val's? I know we scrubbed Val's, so. Okay, so Kelly's also got a table that he's willing to let us borrow. So Kelly's got a tent and table. I'll pick those up from him since he'll be busy that weekend. Chairs, a couple folding chairs.
Well, I got a couple chairs. They're plastics, but I'll bring them all.
I'm sure once we come back up, the ladies will let us know too.
All right, we're away.
Awesome. So I don't think y'all missed much online there. We were just covering some tables and chairs. Dave's got us covered on the extra chairs that we were after. Robert's going to help us out with the card table for food. Kelly's going to help us out with the table for the radio operators. Dan's going to help us out with a couple of more chairs for the radio operators. Yep, I got Dave covered. Yep. And I think that is pretty much about it. I appreciate everybody for their willingness to help out and their assistance in making this an awesome field day. Thank you all.
Yeah, wonderful. Thank you all. Hang on, Larry.
You have lights for the tents because it's not automatic. This is not a park. You don't have any building. You have no lights. You have nothing. So you
Very
need
good point.
tents,
Thank you.
lights, tables, chairs, pens, pencils, pads, something to write on. At a minimum.
Good question, Larry. Who said they had lights? Joe?
Joe's
Okay.
got lights. Awesome.
Those are those 500 waters, right?
Yep, and we'll have a power strip run over to there for at least the fans as well. So, yep, we'll be perfect. Thank you, Larry. We missed anything? Any other questions, comments, concerns? Alrighty then, back to Dan we go.
Thank you, Joe. Great job. So that, we're gonna have an early evening, because that pretty much wraps up the evening for tonight, unless anybody would like to add something. You know, anybody want to build an antenna for us while we're here, or
Kelly would.
Kelly, go ahead.
I just want to remind the repeater committee that we have a meeting after here. If you want to jaw a little bit, that's not going to hurt anything, but we'll be meeting at the Perkins, and if anybody else wants to sit in, we're going to try and keep it short, but for what it's worth.
So who all here is going to that meeting? I am. Who else? Okay, Joe. So do we want to hang around, or?
Kind of a stupid question. I tried to get a hold of Ralph. Is he out of town?
Yeah.
So it'll be a while before I can get the antenna analyzer.
Well, if you need an antenna analyzer, you can borrow mine.
Okay, well, I'll find out. 'Cause I just finished making a 2-meter antenna this afternoon, and
Okay.
hopefully I can get that on the roof. And if it works, then I can finally join the net, which I haven't been able to do before.
Yeah. Well, where do you live?
In Galena in the valley.
In Galena. You gotta go pretty close to my place. You can swing by and pick it up. I might look. Maybe it's in the car.
Well, so far I still have to figure out how to mount it on the roof,
Yeah. Well, I'm thinking you're this close. You can just swing by my place and pick it up. I live right down there off of Windsor, Lincoln Avenue and Romberg. But I'm going to this meeting, so.
That just means you'll have to go have pie first.
So, I guess what I'm trying to find out, Joe, do you want to button up and we'll just go and let whoever else here wants to close up, close the place up, or? Okay. You want to get heading out right away, Kelly? Okay. I'm ready. Get ready. Joe?
Seconded.
Heard it. All right, we're done. Thank you all for showing up tonight.